We're gonna be replacing the front passenger CV axle. Let's get started. First thing we wanna do is jack the vehicle up, put it on jack stands, we'll pull our tire off. Next, we'll take off our axle nut. Having a pair of side cutters works really good. Just bending our cotter pin. Tap it through. We can grab it on the other side. Perfect. Pull this off. Little washer piece. I'm gonna throw a little bit of lubricant on our threads. And mine is a 32 millimeter. Let me back you up just a smidge. Now I'm gonna use an impact, but if you don't own an impact, what you can do is take a flat screwdriver, put it in between the fins of your rotor, and that'll lock it in place so this doesn't spin on you while you're breaking it loose with a breaker bar. A little washer behind there will give it the magnet. Hopefully our CV axle will push through. It's a little stuck. Let me get a hammer. Because we're replacing it, we can just go ahead and hit on it. There we go. So it moves freely in there. Perfect. Pull our strut bolts off. Again, I'm just gonna put a little bit of lubricant. This is a 21 millimeter. Tap them out. Separate our strut. There we go. Back you up so you can get a better angle. I'm gonna go in and turn our steering wheel all the way to the right, and we'll feed our axle through and come out in this direction. Gonna tap on the front of the axle. Get it to come out the back. Tap on it some more. There we go. Okay, now we'll go under and disconnect it from the transmission. Underneath, you'll see the other end of the CV axle going into the transmission. We'll take a small pry bar and put it in between the axle and the transmission and just pop away. You wanna have a catch pan underneath just in case a little transmission fluid comes out. Give it a little tap. There we go, popped out. And we'll slowly just bring this out even more. There, nice. Now let's crawl out and pull it the rest of the way. I'll just maneuver it out. There we go. On our new one, we just want to line it up with our old one and make sure it's the right part. Then we'll take just a little bit of silicone paste, and right where that seal is going to ride, on our transmission side, we're just going to put a little bit of lubricant just right there. Doesn't take a lot. We're going to put just a little on our splines as well, just to help it slide in. Now we'll feed this through. We're just looking at that hole just to get it started and lined up. And we'll twist it a little just so the splines line up. There we go, perfect. Now let's crawl under and just double check that everything's lined up, and by hand we could just feed it in a little further. We're just gonna wiggle it in. Now there is that little C-clip that we have to overcome. I'm gonna tap on it just a little from out back. I think it's just that little circlip we have to overcome. Nice, that fell right in. Let's go back out and finish up. We're gonna tap on it just a little more to make sure it's set in. For that, we wanna make sure that our nut is out. We don't wanna hit on it like this because we could damage our threads. So just back it out until it's just about flush to the end. We're not tapping on it too hard, we're just giving it a little kiss to make sure it's seated all the way in. All right, that's it. Pull off our nut, and we'll put a little bit of anti-seize on our splines. We're not gonna put it on our threads, just the splines. Let me get some real quick. This makes it so it doesn't seize inside our wheel hub. We can pull it out later if needed. Okay, we'll rub that around. We'll go ahead and wipe our fingers off. We don't wanna get this on our brake rotors. Now we just aim it in. Just like that, straighten it out. We want our splines to line up. Nice. Go a little further. There we go. We're gonna reuse our old washer, put that in, and then the new nut. Suck that down. We'll torque that down later. Now let's put our strut back on. I'm gonna turn the steering wheel so we're facing straight ahead. I'll feed this in, just turn this, slide this forward. There we go. Line our holes up, give it a little tap. Put in our bottom. The information I have says these are torqued to 120 foot-pounds. Our spindle nut is 180 foot-pounds. We're gonna put our screwdriver in the fin, just like that, and then torque it down. Now my torque wrench only goes to 150 foot-pounds. That's okay. We'll do 150 and then a little extra. There's 150. We'll go a little more. All right. We have our little warped washer. We'll put that in. And then our little lock ring. We'll put that on. We just want to make sure that our notches line up with our cotter pin hole. You can just move it to another one if you need until you find the one that lines up. Okay, that's going to work. Throw in a new cotter pin. Make sure it comes out the other side. There we go, perfect. I'll bend this side over like that. I'm gonna clip the excess. And that's it, good job. All in all, not too bad. Next thing we wanna do is just take it for a good test drive, make sure there's no new vibrations or funny noises. Other than that, go ahead, take it down to the alignment shop, just have it double checked, and you're good to go. I hope your repair goes well. I have links in the description for all the parts and tools used. If you have any questions, comment, post down below. We'll see you on the next one.